Like it or not, we are in the entertainment business.
Hello, I'm Jake Sanson and welcome to Grand Prix Bitesize on RaceWorld TV. Last time we showed you who's who in Formula 1 in 2016. Now we'll show you who's out of the sport and desperate to get back in, the next generation of drivers racing for a spot on the Grand Prix grid, and which female racers are the best placed to follow Maria Teresa de Filippis and Lella Lombardi to become the next woman to race in Formula 1. We start with the one-hit wonder from Spain 2012. Pastor Maldonado has finally been shown the door after 5 years of many incidents, just one podium being that win at Barcelona, and his major sponsor PDVSA in crisis. So, thanks for the memories, Pastor. All three of the drivers in last year's Manor F1 lineup are out in the cold too. Renault World Series race winner Will Stevens, GP2 race winner and best American driver in the Grand Prix paddock Alexander Rossi, and the luckless Spaniard Roberto Meji. Whether this is the end for any of them or not remains to be seen, but you can bet none of them have given up yet. Finally, two Williams faces from last year are gone too. Adrian Sutil is finally out for good after his reserve role at Grove came to nothing, with that appointment triggering curtains for the career of the team's development driver Susie Wolff. Not giving her the chance to replace an injured Bottas in Australia and then hiring Sutil just in case was the last straw after 4 seasons of dedication and loyalty. Oh, hang on, we nearly forgot this guy. Jean-Eric Vergne, the Frenchman, now turned Formula E racer and Ferrari F1 reserve, he's still chasing his chance back on the Grand Prix grid too. So, who's next? Leading the charge is Red Bull reserve young Frenchman Pierre Gasly, who's yet to win in GP2. This year he needs to deliver, or face being barged aside by the British comeback kid Dean Stoneman. He's not announced his plans yet for 2016, but the Formula 2 champ and GP3 race winner is a shoo-in for a top-line drive, having fought off cancer valiantly 4 years ago. The Ferrari Academy drivers are progressing well, with Raffaele Marcello doing tests for Sauber and Ferrari last year, and he'll be in GP2 again, whilst GP3 star Antonio Fuoco is hoping to clinch the title for Trident this season, as Luca Giotto almost did last season. And speaking of Giotto, he's now stepped up to GP2, so it could be his chance to shine. But the man who beat him to the GP3 crown last year, Esteban Ocon, is now Renault's reserve and a DTM racer for Mercedes, just like Pascal Wehrlein was last year, and he's now in F1. Stoffel van Dorn is heading to Japan to seek a Super Formula title whilst acting as reserve at McLaren, but his GP2 crown last year means surely Button and Alonso need to watch out. There's 2 Brits clamouring for an F1 drive too. World Series by Renault champion Oliver Rowland, now part of the Renault Academy, and 2014 GP3 champion Alex Lynn, now a Williams development driver and a favourite for the GP2 crown. He'll be assisted at Williams this year by former McLaren reserve Gary Paffett, but don't expect him to make a race start as he's too focused on DTM, although stranger things have happened. Force India's reserve Alfonso Celis Jr. is more likely to get there, with talent, consistency and very good backing. And now for the development drivers. Carmen Yorda has kept her place at Renault, although critics have asked why given her poor form in the lower categories, but Charles Leclerc being hired by Haas F1 is an inspired decision, as he's already being compared to a young Alain Prost. The Cowabunga Canadian Lance Stroll needs to calm down his act in the lower championships now that Williams have signed him up for 2016, and the jury is yet out on Russian 16-year-old Nikita Mazepin, a Formula Renault Eurocup frontrunner with very limited experience. It's worth keeping an eye out on newly signed McLaren development driver Nobuharu Matsushita. The Japanese star is a Honda Golden Boy, so the doors may well open for him in time too. But my personal tip for the future is a Chinese racer called Guan Yu Zhou. He's backed by Ferrari, won karting titles in England, and is funded by his government. He's in German F4 this year, and I doubt it'll be long before F1 beckons. With only 2 women having ever started a Grand Prix, it's time for another, and the best candidate for that right now is surely Simona de Silvestro. Her stint at Sauber should have led to a race drive, and it's the hope of many that the IndyCar and Formula E ace hasn't lost her chance for good. British star Alice Powell has regularly been training with Lotus and Manor over the last 3 years, and it'd be great if her efforts could be rewarded with a race drive. Fortunately for NASCAR fans, rumours that Danica Patrick would switch from the US to Formula 1 team Haas are now wide of the mark, so it's unlikely we'll ever see the IndyCar winner, once tipped as a teammate for Jenson Button at Honda, in Formula 1. Of the lower categories, Beitske Visser is probably the closest, once backed by Red Bull and now a title contender in Formula V8 3.5. Whilst Colombian racer Tatiana Calderon has backed up her impressive MRF Challenge campaign as runner-up by signing for Arden in GP3. Of the talented teenagers, leading the way is Sophia Floersch, who wowed the Toka paddock in Ginetta Juniors before a switch to German F4, and she's good enough to win the whole thing. Even Jamie Chadwick is worth keeping an eye on. Yes, she's GT based and may even be making her Le Mans debut this year, but she's still only 17, so plenty of time to make a choice. Again, I have a personal tip, and it's 12-year-old superstar Abby Pulling, already the championship favourite in junior TKM in England, and she's comparable to Lewis Hamilton's pace at the same age. You heard it here first. That's it for now. Do share your comments below and join us next time for more Grand Prix Bitesize on RaceWorld TV. Bye for now.
Like it or not, we are in the entertainment business.